Welcome back to Tea with Aisha Deshay on Thankful Tuesday.
Hey y'all, hello. My name is Aisha Deshay, and welcome back to Tea with Aisha Deshay, where the T stands for positivity. And y'all, this is episode 15. I'm so thankful and grateful to be here, to make it this far. This is like a physical milestone for me to know what consistency is. So this is 15 weeks of consistently doing something. So imagine where I would be in 52 weeks. So I'm just so thankful and grateful for just this opportunity. I feel like a different person from episode 1 and all the way down to episode 15 now. So I'm just so thankful for this. So, y'all, let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about pressure. And pressure does not necessarily mean bad pressure. Sometimes people can genuinely love you, they can genuinely want the best for you, they can see something in you that maybe you don't see in yourself, but that does not mean you have to do something before you're ready. Pressure. So I've learned through my own experience about pressure and not feeling peer pressured or family pressured, if there's a different term for that. So I got a quick story for y'all. When I found out I had cancer, I had doctors, nurses, friends, family, loved ones telling me, like, Aisha, you need to be a big advocate. You need to tell your story. You need to encourage women to do their breast exam. You can help somebody. You can be the biggest advocate, because you saved yourself so you can save somebody else. So I'm not going to front. They're not wrong, but I understand why they're telling me this. They saw how my story of having cancer can eventually help somebody else. But at that moment, I wasn't ready. Y'all, when I first found out I had cancer, I barely could even say I had it. I couldn't even really introduce myself. Like, I was processing me having cancer, right? And what it meant by that, I'm trying to understand my own emotions. I'm trying to figure out what my life looks like right now. I'm trying to pray through this. I'm talking to God. I'm trying to understand why God is doing this in my life. Y'all want me to stand up and tell everybody else what they should do when I'm still trying to understand what I'm going through. Yes, I would love to be the biggest advocate, but I have to go through it first. And sometimes, even though I know it's out of love, we have to be careful about putting pressure on people to turn their pain into purpose too quickly. I'm not saying it's wrong to turn your pain into purpose. I think everybody should, but sometimes people are putting too much pressure on people going through a storm or whatever they're going through in life that is really hard. My greatest example is I'm going through a storm, right? And I'm going through it. I understand, but I just have an umbrella, rain boots, and a rain jacket. I'm in a storm right now. I know what it might look like or seem, but I'm still going through it. I'm not ready yet. I have to get through it first. So sometimes you just have to live through whatever storm you have first. You don't have to make a testimony out of something you're still trying to survive. You don't have to make a social media post. You don't have to get a microphone. You don't have to tell everybody your business. You do not have to become an advocate tomorrow just because somebody thinks you will be good at it. Give yourself time, no pressure. Something I always say to people or when I'm doing something is no pressure. Give yourself time, no pressure to tell your story. It took me years before I felt comfortable telling my story. And when I finally started talking about it, it was different. It was because I know I wasn't doing it because somebody told me to. I was doing it because I was ready. That's the difference. And maybe you're listening to this and your situation isn't cancer. I understand, but this is just my story and how I can put language to pressure in a different way. Maybe you're listening to this and your situation isn't cancer. Maybe somebody is pressuring you to start a business. Maybe they're telling you that you need to leave a relationship. Maybe they're telling you you need to go back to school. Maybe they're telling you to tell your story. Maybe they're telling you what your next move should be. And they might be right. But when somebody gives you good advice, you still have to know when it's your time to use that advice or even if you want to use it. Something that I've learned a few years ago, I'll listen to everything. It's like a buffet. I take what I want and take what I don't want. But sometimes the answer isn't just no. Sometimes the answer is simply, I'm not ready. I wasn't ready to tell my testimony for years about me having cancer. And with God's perfect patience with me, He let me say my testimony in my own time. And He knew when I was going to say it. Something else that I also learned on my cancer journey is that everybody doesn't need to be in the room while you're going through the storm. Everybody does not need to know. Sometimes, if you have too many people in the room, it can get crowded. You can have people who genuinely love you and want the best for you saying, you need to tell your story. You need to speak about this. You need to help somebody else. They're saying it out of love. That's how I really had to process it, out of love. And their intentions may be completely pure, but sometimes even good intentions can start to feel like pressure when you're still trying to process what you're going through. Sometimes you need to clear the room a little bit. Maybe you need some time with God yourself. Maybe one or two people of the right people who you trust should be in the room. Maybe sometimes you just need a quiet place to hear your own voice. What do you think you should do? What should your next step should be? What's the healthiest thing for you to do? Before we let a lot of people in. Sometimes you got to hear your own voice. Also, too, you may just need some quiet so you can actually hear God's voice without everybody else's opinion getting mixed into it. Y'all, my ring light keeps on going out. When you're vulnerable and going through something, everybody, is it just not charging? Like, yo, oh my goodness. Okay, nobody. Okay, y'all, look. My ring light keeps on going out. I'm so sorry for the quality. It was not charged. I will do better next time. But I'm just gonna continue on with my speech, okay? So here we go. Because when you're going through a storm, you're very vulnerable. You're going through something. Everybody can have an opinion about what you should do next. And even when they're helping, too many voices can make you confused about how you actually feel and what God might be saying about you. And that's why I think it's okay to let people know and to tell them, I know you love me. I know you're trying to help me, but right now, I just need some space to process this. You don't have to tell your testimony while you're still trying to understand your testimony. You don't have to share your story because somebody thinks you're ready to share it. Sometimes you need to sit with God first. Sometimes you need to heal first. Sometimes you need to understand what happened to you first. And when that time is right, you can open that door, tell your story from a place where you're ready and not from a place where you felt pressured into it. You can let God work on you privately before you feel like you have to present something publicly. So just know I gave myself permission to get there in my own time. Don't let anybody pressure you or rush you into purpose when you're still trying to get through the storm. Listen to people, listen to the advice, but like I said, take it like a buffet. Take what you want and take what you don't want. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this conversation today. I love y'all. And remember, don't let anybody pressure you into doing anything that you don't want to do before your time, before you're ready. I love y'all. I hope you guys have a great, amazing week. See y'all later. Bye.